Hello and welcome back to another episode of How It Was Made presented by Contineofy. My name is Josh, and today's video is talking about logos and how to create one. I feel like there's a few steps to thinking through the process of what you want your logo to look like. Obviously, going out and researching people that are in your space and seeing what their logo is looking like. When designing a logo, I definitely look into fonts and colors, which can be going along with the competitive research, going out and just seeing what colors all of the brands are using. Like if you look at a lot of your food industries, usually the colors are red. If you're looking into financial and professional services, there are usually lots of shades of blue. If you're looking to invest in financing, it's usually lots of shades of green. So really going out and researching your competitors and kind of seeing what they're using from a color can help you build out your logo. And then also thinking about your brand values and just the overall personality that you're trying to appeal to. When designing the Contineofy website, it's definitely something that I want to revisit once I have additional funds in place, once things are a little more stable and I have the discretionary funds to go out and hire a designer and really sit down and think through the personality and the tone and what I'm wanting to say. The Contineofy logo right now, it's really just a font, and I made the C look like a magnet where it's pulling everything together. Long term, I do want to do something that's similar, but definitely have something that's more a little one of one versus kind of just using a font. And then as well, thinking through a long term, wanting to be able to have like some sort of animation around it, where at the beginning of videos, that is kind of animating at the beginning of a webinar, something to kind of throw in there where it's building off the Contineofy name and just kind of animating the logo and making it kind of cool. But that's all down the path. But thinking through when you're first starting, don't get hung up on what the logo looks like. I mean, we've seen over the years so many brands kind of go back and change and re-identify with what they want to present with the world. I mean, in recent years, we've seen off the top of my head, just even with all the car manufacturers, most recently, I mean, we saw Kia rebrand, and everybody's like, "What's the KN brand?" Jaguar doing their rebranding. It's not something that you have to have set in stone, especially when you're first launching. It's definitely something that once things come about and things are a little more stable, that you can kind of go out and afford like a professional designer to sit down with you and think of the identity that you're wanting to present with the world. That obviously is going to be reflected. The clients you're wanting to target, it's definitely going to change the look and appeal of what your forward facing logo looks like. Another thing to kind of examine while you're building out your logo is obviously the different environments it's going to be in. The logo that you're going to present on, say, a business card is probably going to be different than the logo that you share on your social media platforms. So thinking through when you're designing it, where it's going to be in the world, and maybe there's different variations that you need to create, logos that are more horizontal versus vertical, depending on the application. Even thinking through like I guess from a web standpoint, the favicon, you'll see that a lot when your website's that little icon that's next to the name of the tab, that typically a lot of people even use as their social media thumbnail. Thinking through all of that with your logo is definitely something you'll want to look into. So when you're first starting out, a great platform that I would highly suggest looking at is a platform called Looka. Looka is one of those systems where you can come in here and enter your company name and hit get started. And it is going to use AI to help you build out a logo, which is really great. You can come in here, share your name, your brand colors, and then it's going to give you a bunch of different versions of logos that you can choose from. And similar to Canva, you can come in here and kind of edit the logo post render. If you want to change things around, the fonts, the colors, any of the icons that are being used. And what's great is that after you're done with this, you get both the PNG and an SVG file that if you do want to edit even further, you could then pull it into Canva or Photoshop and be able to tailor it even more. Because one of those great assets that when you're first starting out, it's something that you can use to just get a little bit of recognition. And then like I shared afterwards, once you have some revenue coming in, you could then go back and hire a graphic designer and find somebody to do something legit. But when you're first starting out and you're wanting to use a platform like Canva or Looka, it's definitely something that can help you spin something up really quick, where you're using your name, you're using your colors. It'll sometimes provide an icon, sometimes it won't, but it's going to give you a whole bunch of different variations that you can choose from and then kind of iterate from there. Like I share with my logo, somewhat of a placeholder right now, as I shared. But when you're first starting out, keep your costs low. Definitely using some sort of editor platform like Canva or Looka will definitely get you something that you can start with that it's still somewhat styled, and it can at least give you the recognition that you need when first starting. So these are all the recommendations I share when designing your first logo. Like I shared, later down the road, you can go out and spend a couple thousand, if not 100,000, or in the case of some of these big brands, millions of dollars on redesigning your entire brand kit, starting out with the logo and really honing in on your brand identity and how you want to present yourself to the world. As always, my name is Josh. This is another episode of How It Was Made, presented by Contineofy. Until next time, keep building.